A few years ago, I could walk into any industrial facility in the world, a refinery, a manufacturing plant, a logistics hub, and within 2 hours I knew exactly what the risks were, what the exposures were, and what needed to change. I had 17 years of hard-won knowledge in my head. I was, by any reasonable measure, a 10x engineer. And then everything changed, not slowly, not gradually, all at once and in every direction. I want you to stop for a moment and actually feel the scale of what is happening right now. Manufacturing, the backbone of every economy on Earth, is being rewritten. Robotic arms that used to require months of programming can now be taught a new task in hours. Generative AI is designing products faster than human engineers can review them. 3D printing is producing aerospace components that were physically impossible to machine 5 years ago. Transportation is being restructured from the ground up. Autonomous vehicles, drone delivery networks, electrification of freight. The entire supply chain logic that I spent decades learning, optimized for a world of human drivers and diesel engines, is being rebuilt. In research and development, AI systems are now running experiments, analyzing outcomes, and suggesting next steps faster than any human team. Drug discovery timelines that once took 15 years are collapsing to 3. Materials science that once required a laboratory is being simulated in a cloud server. Robotics is no longer science fiction. It is the factory floor, the warehouse, the surgical suite, and increasingly, the home. The rate of change is not linear, it is exponential. And most people, even brilliant, experienced people, are struggling to keep up. I know because I was one of them. I spent the better part of 2 years feeling like my hard-earned expertise had an expiration date. Every tool I had mastered was being automated. Every process I knew deeply was being replaced. Every credential I held felt less relevant by the month. And I will be honest with you, that was a disorienting, sometimes frightening experience. Because when your professional identity is built on what you know, and what you know keeps changing faster than you can learn, you start to ask a very uncomfortable question. Am I still useful? I am here to tell you that you are asking the wrong question. The right question is not, am I still useful given what I know? The right question is, what is constant, even as everything changes? Here is what I have found. And it is not what the technology headlines will tell you. The things that matter most in a period of historic disruption are not technical skills. They are human capacities. And these capacities are not being automated. They are becoming more valuable. The first is trained attention, the ability to actually be present, to observe clearly, to notice what is really happening rather than what we expect to see. In a world of infinite information and constant distraction, the person who can truly pay attention is rare and powerful. The second is breath, which sounds simple, even obvious, but conscious, intentional breathing is the fastest, most accessible tool we have for regulating our nervous system under pressure. And make no mistake, navigating a world changing this fast is pressure. The ability to stay calm, think clearly, and respond rather than react is not a soft skill. It is a survival skill. The third is ethics. As AI makes more decisions, as automation removes more human checkpoints, the people who hold a clear internal moral compass, who ask not just can we do this, but should we, become indispensable. Ethics is not a constraint on performance. Ethics is the foundation of trust, and trust is the currency that no algorithm can generate. The fourth is excellence, not perfection, but the commitment to doing the work with full integrity, regardless of the tools available. The mindset of craftsmanship, the refusal to accept good enough when better is possible. These are the constants: attention, breath, ethics, excellence. I started this channel, Wisdom Practice, because I believe that the inner work and the outer work are not separate. You cannot navigate historic change from a place of panic and reactivity. You can only navigate it from a place of clarity and groundedness. And that clarity, that groundedness, is trainable. It is a practice, not a destination. In a moment, you are going to hear from someone I deeply respect. a senior executive who has led organizations through exactly the kind of transformation we are talking about. Her perspective on what stays constant when everything else is in motion is one of the most grounding things I have heard. Stay with us.
I have led teams through 3 major technological disruptions in my career. Each one felt unprecedented. Each one was described as historic. And each one, in retrospect, was a preview of something even larger. What you are experiencing right now, the vertigo of watching your expertise feel suddenly incomplete, is not a personal failure. It is a signal that you are paying attention. And paying attention is exactly the right response. Let me tell you what I have seen and what I have learned from the front lines of organizational change. I run strategy for organizations operating in advanced manufacturing, logistics, and industrial automation. I have watched in real time as AI and robotics compress what used to be 5-year transformation timelines into 18 months. The engineers who once spent years mastering a CAD platform are now working alongside AI design tools that generate 100 variants overnight. The operations managers who built careers around lean manufacturing methodologies are now managing hybrid human robot floors where the metrics have completely changed. The supply chain analysts I work with, brilliant people, highly credentialed, are navigating a world where geopolitical instability, climate disruption, and autonomous logistics systems are all colliding simultaneously. This is not a slow evolution. This is a compression event, and no amount of technical currency alone is sufficient to navigate it. What is sufficient, what I have seen work again and again in every organization I have worked with, is leadership from the inside out. Here is what I look for now when I am assessing talent and building teams for organizations facing this level of change. I look for presence, the ability to walk into a room or a conversation and be genuinely here, not distracted, not performing, not already in the next meeting, present. Because leaders who are truly present make better decisions, build better trust, and notice things that everyone else misses. I look for emotional regulation, the ability to stay grounded when the environment is volatile. This is not about suppressing emotion, it is about not being hijacked by it. The research on this is unambiguous. Leaders who can regulate their nervous system under pressure outperform those who cannot, across every industry and every type of disruption. I look for ethical clarity. As AI handles more of the technical decision making, the humans in the room are increasingly responsible for the questions that machines cannot answer, questions of fairness, of purpose, of consequence. The people who have done the inner work to know what they stand for, those people are invaluable. Those people are the ones I want in the room when the hard decisions come. And I look for a commitment to excellence that does not depend on certainty, because certainty is gone. The old playbooks are obsolete. The people who thrive are those who bring full integrity to the work, even when the path is unclear. I want to offer you a reframe. The disruption you are feeling is not evidence that you are obsolete. It is evidence that your deepest capacities are about to become more important than they have ever been. The world does not need more people who can operate the last generation of tools. It needs people who can think clearly under pressure. People who can hold ethical ground when the business case for compromise is loud. People who can lead with presence and groundedness in environments of genuine uncertainty. Those capacities are not built in a software tutorial. They are built through practice, sustained, intentional practice, of the kind that Noah has been sharing through wisdom practice. Breathwork is not a wellness trend. It is a performance technology. Mindfulness is not a luxury. It is a competitive advantage. And the engineers and leaders and professionals who treat their inner life as a training ground, who work on their attention, their regulation, their ethics, those people are the ones who will lead through what is coming. So I will leave you with this. You do not need to have all the answers right now. No one does. The pace of change has outrun anyone's ability to have a complete map. What you need is a practice, something that keeps you rooted in your values, in your clarity, in your capacity to respond rather than react. Something you return to every day, not because it solves the disruption, but because it makes you someone who can meet the disruption. Train your attention. It is your most powerful professional asset. Learn to breathe. deliberately, consciously, under pressure. It will change your performance more than any credential. Hold your ethics tightly. They are not a constraint, they are your compass, and commit to excellence, not as a standard to be judged by, but as an expression of who you are. That is what endures. That is what no disruption can take from you. I am grateful to be in this conversation with you. Keep practicing.